Hi and welcome back to MLM for CEOs. We are busy with a Bootstrapping Your Business series, and I'm hoping you're finding it useful. This is the last in the series. It's number 8 in the series. And in this one, we're going to talk about the first real spend that you're going to have to make, which is to get your IT system. Now, there's no shortcut for this. You have to get a proper IT system. And there's thousands of companies out there who've got commission calculators and all sorts of stuff. But what you want to do is you want to look for an IT partner who is going to be able to scale with you. Now, I say this to a lot of our clients. I've actually stopped saying it, but I'm going to say it to you. If your business fails, absolutely any IT system is good enough. Because if it fails, what does it matter? Get the cheapest IT system you can. It's going to fail. Who cares? If your business succeeds, your business can go from 0 to 1 million people in your network over a 2-year period. I mean, we've seen companies that have had catastrophic, explosive growth. And if you don't have an IT solution that can scale and that can provide you the functionality you need at scale, you're dead in the water. And you cannot change IT systems halfway. I want you to picture a fire hydrant and trying to replace the fire hydrant without turning off the main supply. Once your business is under traction, everybody's flying at 100 at Mach 2. The business is going crazy. People are signing up. You're getting 1,000 sign-ups a day. The orders are flooding in, and you find that your IT system can't cope with the volume. Now you're in real trouble, because as your system struggles, you're going to find that people will just drop out of your business. And so you've got to be hell out careful that the system you take on is actually able to cope with your business and to scale with your business. So what you need to do is you need to look for systems that have been built with an enterprise in mind. And you need to try and strike some sort of deal with those IT suppliers that they will provide you with that system so that your business can grow. Now, at this point, you should have gone through the raising of capital phase. You should have gone through point 3 or session 3 that we did, where you go out and you find the founding members, where you get 10 people to give you $10,000, where you got $100,000 in the bank, and you can actually invest in a proper IT system. Get the best IT system you can afford, because your entire business stands and falls on the back of that IT system. Don't be worried about the few pennies you lose down the road because you're on an expensive system. That is meaningless. You know, I've in many cases spoken to people, and they've looked at the price of NetReady and said to me, well, that's just ridiculous. We're not going to pay that. And I said to them, well, that's fine. 100%. Go and find something else. Cool. No problems. I cannot tell you how many times down the road those companies have come back to us in serious trouble because their systems are not coping. And we've either had to try and salvage them, or in most cases said to them, look, we don't migrate data. We don't like doing this. Things are too hectic on your front. We don't want to take on the client. And so it's really, really important that when you look for a system, you make sure that that system is going to do everything that you need. Now, let me just talk about some of the things you have to look for when discussing an IT system. The first thing you need to know is that there's a registration process. So you need to do your due diligence on how that registration process works and make sure that it fits in with your product. Don't go to the company and just accept whatever they say. Make sure that the company can provide you with a process that works for your business. So check out their onboarding process. How do they take a new customer on board? How do they bring a networker or a customer into the system? Make sure it works for you. Next, you have to look at their e-commerce platform. Does that e-commerce platform give you the flexibility to sell the product both to the network and to customers? And does it provide you with the flexibility of giving the customers and the network differing structures? So a customer's paying full retail price and the system's calculating retail volume to the networker whose link they're using. Make sure that that e-commerce platform is doing everything that is needed. Then make sure the compensation plan is able to be catered for within the system. You know, you can go to 10 companies and they may not be able to cater for every aspect of your compensation plan. So make sure that your compensation plan works, and then if they can cater for that compensation plan, make sure that they're going to be able to do the calculations at scale fast. One of the biggest challenges that we've noticed is as businesses scale, the compensation plan, because of how it's written, doesn't calculate fast, and you can get to a point where literally the compensation plan can take days to calculate, and they're having to take the comp plan off onto an offsite server and do the calculations there and then try and bring the data back into the system. Well, that's obviously a disaster. That's the last thing that you want. Sorry, itchy eye. The next thing you want to have a look at is that the reporting engine is capable of delivering the reports you want. Now, reports are very, very data intensive. So you need to make sure that there's a balance between what data you get and how fast the reports load. What you don't want is a system that can give you any kind of data that you like, but that's putting such a massive load on the server that every time people start looking at the database, the e-commerce engine falls over. So you need to make sure that the system can actually deal with both of those aspects, that they can give you proper data, but that it can deliver it very, very fast so that it's not putting a load on the server. Next, you need some sort of marketing mechanisms. So you need to have at least a funneling system where your network can drive people to the system, and where those people can actually be onboarded into the lead engine and marketed to. Part of that is having a proper email and SMS engine that will market to those people after they put their information into the system. Then you need some sort of e-learning platform built into the system. And the reason you need an e-learning platform is because it's extremely difficult to train thousands of people spread all over the country / potentially all over the world. So you need an e-learning platform that's going to allow you to put your training into the e-learning platform and then deliver that training to people around the world. And there needs to be some mechanism for you to test that that person understands the training. So you need to have some way of testing them and recording whether they were able to complete the training successfully and that they understand the material. And that's a critical part of it. You also need a system that will have integration abilities. So you want a system that's going to have loads of integration opportunities, that's got a really rich API engine that people can integrate whatever. Maybe that connects to something like Zapier, where lots of products can actually connect back to your network and back to your software. So that's critical. And then lastly, you want something that can scale globally. MLM businesses are one of the few businesses that you can scale on a global basis, and you don't want to be with a system that can't scale globally. So you want to make sure that you can have distributed hardware across the world, that you can have hardware across the world that is load balanced, so that if somebody in Australia is connecting to the system, they can connect to a local server. And if somebody in the US is connecting, they can connect to a US server, and somebody in Europe is connecting to Europe servers. But they're all feeding back to a central database, or even a distributed database that's synchronized. That needs to be part of your planning, because if you are planning to run an international business, that becomes a critical part of your planning. You need to know that your system can do that. Then you need to know that your system can handle multiple currencies and calculate commissions across currencies worldwide. Now, that is a very, very complicated and complex part of multi-level marketing. And you need to understand how that works and how each company implements those international calculations. And you need to be happy with the way that they've implemented that calculation. It's critically important, because somebody in Europe is not interested in how much something costs in Australian dollars or in US dollars. They want to know how much does it cost in euros and how much commission they're getting in euros. And if one of their networkers made a sale in dollars, how does that relate to them in euros? That's what they want to know. So you need to make sure that that implementation is done properly. And then you need to make sure that the system can be localized from a language point of view. Somebody in France, I promise you, is not interested in looking at an English website, especially in France. Not interested in an English website. Somebody in Italy might not be able to speak English at all. I was just recently in Italy, and it was surprising how few people could actually converse fluently in English. So if you are planning to rock this business out on a global basis, you need to make sure that your IT system can deliver the messaging in whatever language that person wants to receive it in. That's obviously crucially important. And then you need to make sure that you've got a team of people behind the software who are responsive. If something goes wrong, is there somebody who can help you? Now, if you're taking a cheap system, you're paying $200 or $300 a month, then it's a DIY system. You're on your own. You log a ticket, they get back to you in 24, 36, 48 hours. That is the way it is, because no company, no IT company can provide high-level support at $300 or $400 a month. It's just impossible. They cannot do it, because a single support person is going to cost more than that a month. And how are they going to cope with, a large number of tickets from somebody who's paying very, very low dollars? So you're not going to get telephone support. You're not going to get Zoom support. You're not going to get any of those things if you're going for a cheap system. You're going to be on your own. It's DIY, and off you go and hope for the best. So again, you need to make sure that there's a support infrastructure behind you that you are paying for, that is providing you with the ability to connect with real people if things are going wrong, and that will actually suit your business when it scales. You don't want to be in a system where it scales and now you find out the infrastructure is not there. Now you find out the people are not there to help you. So when you go out looking for your IT system, make sure it's got all the pieces in play that you can report and train and sell and recruit and track the networks, genealogies, track the commissions. All of that kind of stuff must be in play. All the integrations must be in play. It must be scalable. It must be able to run across multiple countries in multiple servers, and it must have full load balancing. You must have DDoS protection. There's 1,001 things that you need to have here. But this here is critical, because if you pick the wrong system, you are in a world of pain, a world of pain. If you take a cheap system, you're in a world of pain. My recommendation is go out there, find the right system for your business, and make sure you raise enough capital to be able to afford that system, and make that system the system you run your entire business on. Well, guys, that brings me to the end of this series on how to bootstrap your business. I really, really hope that it's given you some real insights into this. Remember to visit MLM for CEOs and go and check out our YouTube channel, go and check out our Spotify channel, go and check out our Facebook area. I think Facebook's under NetReady. I might be mistaken there, but I think the Facebook channel is under NetReady. So you can just look for NetReady for Facebook. And follow us, guys. Hit that like button. Subscribe to our channel. We are pushing out this kind of information on a regular basis. It's free. Our goal is to help you succeed. Our goal is to help you achieve great things in this space. So please follow us. Make sure that you're part of our team and part of our journey. And I look forward to seeing you sometime in the future.